Here they come in.
Tō ia tainui tapotū ki te moana māwai e tō māku e tō mā te ki orahi e tō. Tō ia mai ki te taumata. Te taumata o tō tātou kingi a kingi tū heitia. Ko e nei o ngā rā o tōna koronei hana. Kai te taumata e te kingi tō ia mai. Tō ia mai ngā uri o rahi tū takahina. Ka mui a tiara. Ka puta ko ngā ki ioma. Ka puta ko ngā taniwha. Taniwha weri weri. Taniwha aiwi. Taniwha hongatua. Taniwha Aotearoa. Taniwha Māori. Taniwha te moana nui a kiwa. Ki o mamai, o mamai, tihai mai, kuku mea mai, etu mai, parahoti oti wai wai mai. Ki runga i te taumata. Te tuatahitanga o tēnei tūmomo āhua. Nō reira ngā mātā waka tōia mai, tōia mai, tōia mai. Tōia mai o hotura. Hotura pe hotu mata pō mā tau e raka mamau kākati tāwhao. Tā wāu ia whatihua. Ia mango hukuro. Mō tai te tuarua kura nui re rei opa ki au. Hega maru mahu tau e rata tapo e te putu tāwhia ki te rangi. Tāwhia ki te rangi ko tuatā. Ko te rauanganga. Ko te warauhero. Te kingi Māori. Nau mai haere mai ki te whare kuro rā kaumanga. Ko te pautoko manu au tō tātou kura. Ko te kingi tanga. Nō reira nau mai. Haere mai. Haere mai. Ngā mātā waka kai wai nani ia. Tēnei anō te mi. Ana, he waimari e koutou au e te hunga. E te hunga rangatahi i tēnei tūmomo āhua tanga te tuatahitanga mo te taumata. He ai, ki te kore ngā kaiako, ki te kore ngā mātua e āki nei te whakai tēnei tūmomo āhua mā koutou. Kāhati. Ka kore au, ka matenoa te kēmu. Aharani. Nō reira tika tonu rā, e mihi nei ki ngā mātua, e mihi nei ki ngā kaiako, e mihi nei ki ngā pauako nā koutou i whakapau te kaha ki whakatūnei tēnei o ngā waiwaka. Tēnei te mihi, tēnei te mihi, tēnei te mihi. Nō reira kāreo i te kumaro i ngā kōrero, atu i te mihi ki a tātou kua huhi mai nei i tēnei o ngā pō. I tēnei whare o tātou o Kiritokia. Tō ia mai te aroha. Tō ia mai ngā ki orahi. Tō ia mai te aroha orahi. Tō ia mai manarahi. Tō ia mai tupurahi. Tō ia mai taumata. Tēnā koutou katoa. Oi.
Haere mai ngā
ki toa ka kia te manawa nui hapa e ngā ngā hoe. O te pono, o te tika, o te rangi mai e te tata. O te aroha, te puna, o te tokohiwe rohia he mohi e pau here ngā atu e.
Kiri nei te awerere he pōkaitara manu. A ka topa me tiki rawa hei a mai au ati hei mauri ora. Ko tau pai atu rā o tātou ma te ki tua o te whanau. Ngā kano hi te uranga o te rā. Ko ngaro i te rā nei. Ngā manu hoki, tai a te hoka ki a manu te tāwai a kohu. Te mataha o te tokatū, te mataha o te tokatū. Ka māhoe nei taku titiro te karu o te rākau. Ka atua ko te huia ka tuku ki roto i te aro mau. Tuku atu kia rere. He mata kōkiri ane wa i te rangi e nuei rai ngā mate. O koutou ka koe a ki runga i te koro nei hana i ngā rangi tata. E whakaeke mai nei. E topa hei mata kōkiri ane wa i te rangi e. Hoi anō. Ai te waha ki, orahi. Ai ora, kei te mihi ake ki tēnei kaupapa o te ora. Kua whakarahia e koe. Ai roto i ngā tau maha koe anei ko te kura nui. A ko te kura roa, ai whana ke tonu nei te kura. No reira ka tika kia pine hia te kura. Kia manaki hia te kura. Kia whana ke haere tonu te kura mo ngā rangi. A kei te tatu mai, a kua piki tōna mana. Ko tae mai ko ngā iwi take o te ao, a kene pēr. Kei kona pēr te aronga mo tēnei hākina no reira e ngā tuakana o te moana nui akiwa. Kei te mihi ake kia koutou, ko whai wāhi mai nei, a ki e nei kapa e waru. Ko ia tēnei ko te kotahitanga, ko roa e kōrero hia nei ta tātou kingi. Atu i ngā mahi kapahaka. Ko tahi atu te tahi me hei whakakotahi a tātou te iwi Māori. Ko te hākinakina. Kāre tu atu. Kapahaka, hākinakina. Ngā mahi, e toki katoa nei tātou a ngā iwi. No reira mihi mai ki ngā iwi katoa. Ngā waka katoa. Te kapa o te kura aiwi. Mērā o ngā kapa. Mērā o ngā kapa. Hoi anō kāre pirangi te whakatoro ai ngā kōrero. A hoi anō e tūru ai hoki te mihi ake kia koe ora, tā tātou kai karanga, mai wiwi, ki nā kau manga. A kei te mihi ake kia tātou uti rā tātou katoa, a kua whakarau i ka mai nei. Ka tahi te tahi tirohanga a tāhua ko tēnei. A tātou rangatahi, e pakari ana te tinana, e kōrero ana i te reo, kia kaha tātou te kōrero i te reo. I waenga i a tātou. I roto i a tātou e noho Māori nei, me kōrero Māori. Kaha ki te atu te reo Pākehā, a mō ngā tākaro Pākehā, kia rahi, tākaro Māori, reo Māori. No reira, I reckon, extra points. Reira, tēnā kare whakatoro e ngā kōrero no mihi atu kia koe ora, rākau manga. Ai mihi nui ana, a ki tēnei kura. Mihi atu ki te taku ankara, Mr. Heremia. Hoi anō koutou e manaki nei, ai te iwi, haere ake nei ngā tau. Tēnei kura rangatira, kei te mihi ake kia koutou, kei te kite atu i etahi kanohi, kāre kua roa kāre ki te ana i a tātou. Ai mihi ana ki a tātou tēnei ko kāre toro ai ngā kōrero, e hara nā ki te kaupapa nā koutou ki ngā rangatahi. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Oi, kai ana te tūru ki te hātu i te wakahei tau i rai e. Tangaroa pēhi a tāwhiri mā te atu whakaangi nuku tū whakaangi rangi. Haere tānei runga! Ara hau tata! Hau tata! Atu wakana, wakana, pitana! Hau atu, i taina takuka wana! Hei kaka watu wana! Hau iwi ni kawa wana! Tāra pata tū ki tarangi! Hau waki!
mihi o te ngākau kia koutou, kutsuakana. Iau no ana ki reira ka kite au i a koe me tō blazer hat o kāle i te kore. Me te kite i rongo i te kore, kia Māori te reo. Engari, ko ia kei ko te tangata kia Māori te tū me tana tamohia ānahu. Nō reira e te hoa e te mihi atu kia koutou. O tira kia tātou katoa. Koe ne te mihi o te ngākau kia tātou katoa. Ko tō ia mai ki roto i tēnei whare o tātou. Mai te waipaunamu, taus ki te tairāwhiti, ki te haua auru, ki te pupu o te ika. E nā hunga o te nota, o ia mai ki roto ia tātou ki tēnei o tō tātou whare. Koe nei te mihi o te ngākau kia tātou. Tēnā tātou, tēnā tātou. Ka hara mai ki kone, look like an MC. Because where's the MC? Well, he's still on the road. He's coming from my home. Tika tonu rā he kapapa mau. He hana ki te korero i roto i te reo Māori mō ngā kapapa katoa. Engari kia mārama pū ai koutou katoa. Ka reo reo, kia mārama i katoa katoa. Mō tēnei ko te kōrepe o te kaupapa o Kiorahi ki roto i tēnei tūmomo āhua. From the journey of where Kiorahi began in secondary schools to get to a New Zealand level, to get to a Māori level, to get to a Kuraia, a Aomatua, Invitation, Aotearoa Whānui, Pacifica area schools, and hopefully that's not the end. So mō tēnei tūmomo kaupapa, 2009, we started playing in regions after a man called Hako Brown, i tai mai, te tautoko i te kaupapa, tākoha i te kaupapa. Then it was Hako Brown that started sharing within researching Māori sports. The biggest introductory that we saw at that time was at the Cowboy Games up the coast in Te Tairāwhiti, was held in Uawa, 2009, where they were playing with a square rubbish bin. So you can imagine once it hit the edge it went flying. But the mea tuaru o tēnā wā, there were no outs. The ball went into the crowd, you ran in between the crowd and everybody just got out of the way and you threw it in. There was no double rip handover. There was no zone. There was no man on man. I Māori noi ho te ahu. Bare feet, shoes, football boots, sprigs, headgear. Koina te ahu o te Kiorahi I tēnā wā. So 2009, I timata ki te tākaro ki roto I ngā kura. That school started playing. We had our very first tournament here. I tēnā wā, whare kura o rākau manga, ko ngā tai atea, Huntly College, ngā rua wāhia e whā ngā kura. And there was no such thing as a Kiorahi ball. There was a whatever ball. So they were playing with a basketball and the girl in the middle was going, arch. And so 2010, I kōrero māua ko Whetsurangi Haiata, no Uawa. Should we run the nationals? Who said we can have a national? We did. Who's New Zealand Secondary School Sports Council? We don't know who they are, but we know who the Cowboys are. So I timata tātou kia pira. Invitation to the schools that were playing at that time. 11 schools turned up. First tournament. We called it our nationals. National Kiorahi. 11 schools. No pools, play everyone. 10 games, one day. Tēnā tū momo āhua. Ana, tuatahi I toa I ko Ua, Holanga Bay, won the first ever nationals in 2010. At that time, e nui te manawa o te taira whiti o te tangata nei a Whetsurangi Haere, they had a big heart. And everybody stayed at the one marae, 11 schools. Cold shower. E mo te tau tuarua, nā nano I pera. Sikini, he done that as well. Was the first year we had Gisborne Boys and Girls High School turn up and be a part of it. Tākau manga, taipa, hirangi, kawakawa mai tawhiti, Waikohu, was all the schools from within Gizzy and a few others that played 2011. 2012, tau mai te kaupapa ki roto I a Waikato. Haere mai ki a tātou. Ia, olo kāwhtus turanga wāwai, kei reira te whakaaro. 2013, haere tātou ki a Whanganui. Everybody stayed at Rātana Pā. 2000 and, correct me if I'm wrong, Ipuera Koroki, maybe 11 or 12, Puki, was the very first, 2010 was the very first time we picked a New Zealand team, and they played against a New Zealand Open team, because they were travelling to France, adults. The adults got smashed, 30-something, 12. They shouldn't have went to France. But in France, they play the game. They play it as nonoke, as tackle. And that's where they win in that time. I maumahara, that game was played down in Turangi. Then the next time, we introduced the Māori team, because we needed some people to play against. Before that, we just had invitational teams from wherever, but it was our first camp. Puki was third form at that time, the coach of Kuraai. Third form, and he was in the Māori team. We had a trainer by the name of Koroheke Moana Taniwha. He's with Aotearoa Whānau. And then we had another person at the back, and she's sitting down, her name is Ihipera Maipi Edwards. And these were just some of the pioneers of our game. They changed the game for us. And then so on and so forth, we began to play at the Koroneihana the years after. Of course, New Zealand was always get the first pick, and then the Māori would play against them. The Māori beat the New Zealand team in 2014. I'm only smiling at Hookie because after making the Māori team for all those years, he finally made the New Zealand team and they lost. One game. And back then you played 2 tests. The second one was played at the Koroneihana. Then, over time moved forward, we moved forward. We stepped away for a little bit, then we came back in. Last year was the first time we had the integration, and we called it the Tamawha. And I just want to make acknowledgement at this point in time to Tamihana Morunga. Nā ana I hua ki ngā tatau o te arawa, ki te awhi I tēnei o ngā kaupapa. E kore rawa ngā mihi e mutu ki ate Tamihana ki te rawa o ngā kaupapa. Mihi nei ki ate for taking that up. And then also, I kuhu mai tō mātou whānau, Roera, I mihi nei ki ate e hoa, for the area schools coming in, and Kuraai. 4 schools played there. And then as Māori, we think, li te tonu ki te Māori. What is whakaaro Māori is? We don't need to ask for anybody's permission to do something of what's right. And what is right? Kia whakawhānui te kaupapa ki te nui o te hunga. Kia tae mai, kia ki te ai tēnei. And then let's double this. And minimise the price from somewhere. He oi tātou, e mihi nei kia tātou. I shared a moment with my daughter once I was pulling out all the gear, and I had the gear in my house, and she sat down and I was staring at the roof. She goes, "You're right, Dad," and I said, "Far, this is me, name." She goes, "The gears?" I said, "Know what the gears represent. It represents the evolution and the evolution of Kiorangi. And Kia Koutou went from 1 team, just to 2 teams, to 4, to 8, and maybe next year more and more, so that we can have more of you be involved in an elitist tournament. Where you can go and be the top player in your school and be like other top players. Engari, ko te mea nui ki a tātou, you all have a job to do. Yes, it's to play well in Kiorahi tomorrow and the day after on the field, but most importantly, to take back your experiences and share it with the other people at your kura. Ko koutou te hunga wai mari, you've been given the talent. Ka hatia koutou, me tēnā tū momo tāma. So kia tātou katoa, e mihi nei, that it's up to you to take those things and share it out with everybody. So tēnei wā whānau, I'm just going to invite up two people. These next two people, they're actually what the two pools are called. Pool one is called Homai Te Paki Paki Mō Koroheke Moana Taniwha. And the next pool is called Ihipera. Ihipera Mai Edwards Homai Te Paki Paki. Now, a lot of what you do in the game today, that talent part, that skill part, that is a lot of you. That is 99% you. But that 1% of where you got that from, that jump shot came from, that's where it came from. They came from here. Nobody was doing that until Koroheke Moana Taniwha started coming along. I don't even know where he got it from. He doesn't even know. His ancestors. Ali Bumbaye. And so those are a lot of the skills of what we see today, and a lot of the games changed because of these two. Double rips came around because there was no double rip. It was only a single rip, but there was no advantage to Kioma if we were making rips. So double rips came into play, and this is what this gentleman to my left was really outstanding and really changed the game for Kiorahi for a whole lot of people to follow, along with many others. But if our rugby league competitions can have the Sean Johnson and the Dean Bell, there's no reason kia kore tātou e whakanui I o mata. So, pool number one, Koroheke Moana. Now, of course, if you've got the best jump shot in the country for about 3 years running, obviously there's only one reason why you're good, and it's because there's a person in the middle that can just block it out and block everything. And that was Ihipera. Ihipera was the person who changed the game in terms of the no-look pass, because at that point in time, they brought in this thing called the Zone 8. So we can only have 4 in the zone right now, the roto. Back then you could have 8. And I'm just going to tell you a quick story about that, because that 8th zone, that started with these old men, because they played in a tournament we had again over here, and it was Matua Kiki and all these old fellas. And they played against all the school teams, and of course, well, they can't run around with shoes. So they just went back up, and everybody backed into the circle, and they stayed there. They played an 8th zone. Everybody said, how do we beat that? Uawa took it back to Uawa, and then all of a sudden it took off over there. And then Gizzy Boy started doing it, and everybody else started doing it. Now it was an 8-man zone. Now how do you break that? Ihipera would call all the direction there, catch the ball, and go run, pass this way, and everybody's still looking that way, and then would score over here. She also changed the way that you feed the ball to the outside, and pushing the ball under and over, because everybody would just push it one way. And so, just wanted to acknowledge their contribution in whakanui them Homai Te Paki Paki. We just started. So, a lot of what's going to happen is going to have a few words with them. Then we're going to invite the coaches up, we're going to have a few questionnaires, and then we're going to announce every team's captains. And then we're going to give them some questions as well. Hey, tēnā koe. Just start off with one pretty simple. What was the thing that drew you to Kiorahi? And don't say because I told you to. But what is the thing that you loved about the sport? It's probably different from rugby league or some of your other positions.
Well, when you make a New Zealand team, you think, okay, we're going to get hotels. You're going to get treated like you're going to get escorted everywhere. And, you don't get that. You get in a van with the team you're playing against, and you get to stay with them in the same right. So he's my coach, he's been my coach through that whole period, and he drove into us that yeah, they're staying with us, but they're also your enemy. So it's kind of hard to switch off them being your enemy because you're staying with them and they're with you the whole time. But that's probably an element I loved about Kiorahi was going into camps and mixing and mingling with other kids and other kudo. You don't really get that in other sport.
What do you love the most about Kiorahi?
Yeah, I was probably getting to hang with my friends, to be honest. Outside of Kura, traveling, loved traveling. Anything that he was involved with, we were like, yep, sign us up because we knew we were going to other Kura to see other people and yeah.
These two made the final of every final while you were in school? Was that against the same team? When was the first year? 2010. 2010 and his last year was 2014. Every final they made was against Gisborne Boys and Girls High School. Just boys and girls. How many of those did you win and how many did you lose?
I lost 2 and 1, 2. And oh, no, lost 3, sorry, 1, 2.
Not a good record. One worse.
I think we played 3 and I won 2 out of 3.
How have you seen the game evolve from what it was back into what it is now when you see these individual people?
What I see different is, I think my daughter touched on it, there was no outs. Defense styles and attacking styles have changed a lot. In terms of defense, there was only man-to-man and, yeah, like you said, zone come along. So we have to start changing the way we attack and the way we look at the field. So, yeah, the way people attack and the way people defend has changed a lot. I think it's just going to continue to evolve if people stop cheating. Finding ways to cheat. Or bending rules, sorry.
It's called the grey area. And our best rugby player in the world was a master at it. And if he played Kiorahi, he'd be in the grey area too, which he would. Just a question for Ihipera, because it was a zone, and it was an 8 zone, as a middle, it's really important for our middles to understand how well it is to feed the outside without giving too much away and reading body language. How did you come up with the no-look pass, and how did you know where they were?
I guess netball helped. I used to play netball back in my athletic days. You would not tell right now, but yeah, netball, using your peripherals and having, like, trusting in your team, trusting that the outside has got your back, and I guess if you come up with a game plan and the zones and name the areas and they just change. Oh, okay. And then you, like we had a zone in our areas on lock, so knowing who was free, like if I would be that way, facing this way, and someone just calls, like we had black, 10 10, 20, 40, 60 black. Those were our zones. And if someone called that, then I'll just know straight away to just go there. Yeah.
Through Kiorahi, just two more questions. Through Kiorahi, what's the opportunities that come out for you just through Kiorahi?
Yeah, just through Kiorahi, we got the opportunity to travel the world. We went to Brazil. We were there for like a month. Was it? Oh, yeah, it felt like a month, but it was probably only a day. And that was with me, Mahinga, and Iipera. And a couple of other coaches are here too as well. Roida. Yeah, we got to travel with Mataora everywhere pretty much through Kiorahi. Made it to trips to Gisborne. Most of them, Whanganui, Taupo, each to Tamaki. And yeah, well, really did Kiorahi to get out of class too.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean that if it's sport that you have the talent to, there's nothing wrong with going to school and being a part of something great, like your school sports stuff. But in order for that to happen, we've just got to have a balance of making sure that we get our mahi right and keeping our kaiapos right. Because right now, they would tell you, make the most of your days at school, especially with these opportunities. We're looking at you, and I had the coaches and people say to me, where was this when we were at school? And so you're really lucky in terms of those things. So just on behalf of us here today, we're very lucky for these two individuals and a whole lot of other people. Just another name that springs to mind is what he's done in Magico at the Touch World Cup just recently is E4 Jones and the winning team of Hamilton Boys High, and what they've done there, and just to see all those skills. And we've got not just one or two, but we've got about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 E4 Jones teams. And these are places where we can help grow them. And so everybody just, don't forget, thank your coaches, thank your managers, and your parents and the people that gave you the opportunity. Nō reira, kia pōru, mō tēnei o tū. Tēnei wā, we're going to call up our coaches, and we're going to ask, have them a few questions. So, Mai Te Piki Pakipaki from Kuraiwi, Hoki Oi Maipi. Aotearoa and New Zealand representative. Aho matua, Tamihana Mōrunga. New Zealand Maipi. Aotearoa Whānui, Hiramaya Samson, Ho Mai Te Pakipaki. New Zealand Māori. Warriors Junior. The coach of Aotearoa Māori, Ho Mai Te Pakipaki. Chase Kennedy, Ngāti Pukio. Junior Warrior. Pukira Warriors. Also from Te Kuiti, the coach of our New Zealand Invitational, Ho Mai Te Pakipaki, Rangi Te Whare. The coach of the New Zealand area schools travelled over to Brazil as well, and also the New Zealand tag representative, Ho Mai Te Pakipaki, Roida Hartley. Captain, coach, Mighty Pacifica team, Ho Mai Te Pakipaki, our man with the plan, Mr. Dreadlocks himself, Mr. Troy, put your hands together.
was yelling at us, talking about do this and do that. Now let's see how much they're going to share with us and what the game plan is. And no, it's not just because I'm the New Zealand coach and I'm just trying to get everything I need to out of the coach. No, but just a question for Hoki. How have you seen the game evolve and how is it coming in with Kuraigi and how does it feel so far?
Kia ora tātou whānau. Today's been great. Back in our day, like Matua Ora has been talking about, we had one or two teams, max 3 when the area schools would come in. But we never had 18 players. We would be scraping to get 14. Kapai, and back in our day, I'm not lying, we played the whole game. There was 4 boys, and if you had 7 boys, then those other 3, they were lucky to get some game time because Kurueki, he never went off. He would play defense and attack. Kapai, our black man, he's the same. Kina, Kapai, we played 80-minute games, Kapai. But other than that, the involvement of the game, I don't know if it's actually evolved. Kapai, evolved by rules and skill-wise and that, but back in our days we had an ara, Kapai, and if you don't know what an ara is, it's like it actually came out of the roto, so there was more space to work with, whereas they took that out because it just allows the defense more time to catch them. Kapai, so I don't know, that's my personal opinions, but everybody else might have a different opinion. But in terms of kura-wise, there are way more schools. Like Kurueki said, we went to Gisborne a lot because that's the only other rohi who was actually playing. But it's good to see the likes of Mātauranga and his kura, Troy and the Pacifica lot and the Rangi and them. I mean, Te Kuiti's been in the game for a long time, but for them to be, for them to be coming in and actually pumping in as much as they are now, it's great. So, put up.
Comment for everybody. Just a question for the next coach, and it's probably a question for management too, but this being the first of Aho Matua Kiorangi, in terms of how's it been so far with the kura coming together and what you've enjoyed about it, and then just one more thing is what are the steps that you can see for Aho Matua going forward?
Tōtaia, he whakamānoa e tukumi ki a koe. I tēnei kaupapa nui whakaharahara. E mōhia nei, e harai te mea Māori te hiki tei kaupapa pēnei ngari. Kua mā pū mai, te mātuturi tangata, ki te taituku i tēnei kaupapa. I runga i o wawata, i runga i o manako nui. Kamutu kōrua ko whālani tāna taino mai i wiwi. Mahi nui whakahara o tēnei, kaupapa nui, motuake, no reira tēnā pūmata. I o kōrero, i o mahi. Ko waimari mātai o Te Aho Matua, i whakatau kia whānoingo o mātai kura. Ka whirinaki atu ki ngā kaiako, kia whakahari i tērā ropu o tērā kura, kia ngāwari ake te whakahari i te tīma. So we're really lucky that we chose from 4 kura, and it's easy to manage high tātou, our players. And for Waimare, there's a Matua Ora and all our kura, and for Waimare, mātai kōka mārama, Matua Te Rangi Hau, me Matua Ināhu.
Mai te papuki Matua Tanga. True to Māori hui, didn't start off with the usual MC's kōreros, eh? The fire exit, obviously fellas said it all. All you old fellas, you had a good life. Let the young ones out first, eh? It's alright if we get burnt. Mea tuarua whānau, ngā whariiti just over here down this end, the toilet. But if we go in the toilet and it smells like grape and pineapple, oi. Hey, that ain't links. So with that, what's our here, you've had great players in your team. you've won national titles. How can you take from all that knowledge and how can you instill it, what have you done to instill that into your team within 2 trades?
Yeah, look, you bring your knowledge, you bring your experiences, you share your pearls of wisdom as much as you possibly can to your team. Actually, you also bring on some awesome support people that come to put their own pearls of wisdom and knowledge to also contribute to the kaipapa. So, hence a fellow that was up here, one of the pools is named after. I'm fortunate that he's a part of our group. So, those powers combined, you work together to try and give off all of that knowledge to your team. And just train it, practice it, and hope that they retain it and be able to produce it out on the field.
Just one final question before you go. If there is an expectation that you have of your players when they take the field tomorrow, what would they be?
Look, it's attitude and effort. It's a universal thing, no matter what sport. Come with a great attitude. You always want to put out 100% effort, no matter what. You hope that that's enough, because like everyone in here, you're all talented. You've all got the skills. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here at this tournament. You all know how to play the game and play it really, really well. Impressed, watching this group and others that were nationals this year. So everyone sort of comes at an even level, so to speak. What kind of sets apart, those that go on to win games and those that may not. Those that come with an awesome attitude and effort. Effort where no one likes to do the extra stuff, where no one wants to run that extra half a metre to rip that tag, or no one wants to sacrifice the old ripping themselves on the ground with the low dive. It's all those extra effort areas.
Whānau mai te pakapaka. Easy one. Sure. It's your second year with the Māori team. Started off as a trainer, moved into the coaching role, and you've been a coach at your kura with Kaukauroa, and they've risen so fast just over the short span of time. How has it been moving from one trainer to coach with all the talent that you have, and how they've been coming together in Jarvis?
Just trying to wrap my head around that question. Going from kura level to this elite level, it's probably just figuring out what worked well at the kura, and then coming to here to this level. I'm not trying to be a coach that's trying to teach them how to play kia ora, but a coach that's trying to pull out the best out of these players. And that's just all I've been. I haven't come here to teach them anything, but to try and make them understand that they are great players. That's why they're in this team. So how do we draw that up? And it's probably kura Māori, te ao Māori, the good thing that we do is look after each other. The good thing that we do is build culture, and that's just been my focus as a coach for this group, because they all have their backgrounds of elite sport, touch, rugby, netball, all these other sports that are out there. But bringing all those skills in, and if we just put that Te Ao Māori approach into our culture, our campaign, that's how I see the change from going up to the school level to this level, is making us work together, be together, and build that culture to hopefully see the best out of our team. But not just our team, but all the 8 teams that are here today. Ultimately, it's just, we just want to see the best. As a coach, I just don't want to see Aotearoa Māori be the best. I want to see everyone be the best. And if we get 8 teams being the best here, is definitely we're definitely going to be challenging those other sports that ain't Māori sports. The thing that I can't wait to see is that when we have a first 15 New Zealand final, but we have a Kia Ora final. Sorry, not to I'm going to Kia Ora. Once that happens, that's how we see the growth in Kia Ora as well.
Tana kōrero e pāna ki first 15 or nepo or anything like that. Most people say, that's in the hard basket. It's because there's a career pathway through rugby, there's a career pathway through netball and rugby league, and all of those things. There is no reason why we can't dream to have a career pathway through Kia Ora. And just want to mihi to Matua Mātauranga, because he's also started that footprint. Just the weekend just gone, he was in Brisbane over there, and he was spreading the word of Kia Ora to start growing that in that sort of terms. So, when you can get to this space, no, we don't have hotels. No, we don't get the big things like they do. And it's because they've got a whole lot of money. What you have and the things that you have now are far more than what Curriculum had in their days. If you looked into your package and you start off with something like that, that came through hard work and people's planning and efforts to go through. We don't have millions of dollars like New Zealand Rugby. There's just us and your parents and the efforts that we do. So, we are moving there, and that's the dream for us. We've gone from 1 team to 2 teams to 4 teams to 8. And when I look around the room, it's wonderful. So with that being said, when you look around the room, and we already know there's certain players that create a threat to a team. One of the things that we talk to the team about, who to shut down, what do we shut down? These are the questions of NRL. What are you going to do with the big Sonny Bill when he's running at you? So what are you going to do when you got Tao running at you and you got Bailey running at you? And those sorts of things. And you know that the talents of the room, what is that about and how have you prepared for other people? Or more to the question, how have you prepared as your team?
First of all, I'd just like to say a big thank you for allowing me to be and standing up here as coach. Well, how did we do that? I think for me, for our team, it's pretty simple. Drop off. You either do that or else you get 2 players on that 1 player, and you just got to pick your butt up. And to be honest, I think that's what it's really about. Is I think someone already said it. You just got to work 100%. If you're tired, you need to come off. You can't let your team down by staying on that field. Yep, you might be tired, but your other person on the bench, they're ready to go. They're 100% ready to go. Maybe you need to do that. Maybe you need to bring someone else in.
He's been to World Indigenous Games. He's played at the World Tag events. He's coached area schools for a while now. He's also put on the national tournament in Turangi. And this is purely so we're all listening. You should listen to this one because this is one of the things. Just how's it been, and how do you find the time and the effort to try and get your team where it is and what they need to be, and those sorts of things, and the time and effort that goes into preparing those sorts of things.
What it takes for me communication with the team. My type of coaching is different to how Ora will coach. I'm real hands-on, but I just get to know my players. I'm not a strict coach. I'm not as strict as Ora is. I agree. Yeah, he's got titles like nothing, but yeah, I just like I like to get to know my players on a personal level. Yeah, a lot of my players in my team, I grew up playing with like Destiny. I played with her older siblings when I was at school. So just keeping that whānau aspect of our kia ora here, because as Māori, whānau is real big in our life. Yeah, just keeping it tight knit. Kia ora.
Wait, whānau? Just a question to Dr. Choi, in terms of, from the first initial question when you were asked to come in and be a part of the kaupapa and coach a Pacifica team, how has that journey been in the way of just probably sharing a little bit of light to everybody, how the team is picked? Is there a pecking order? Do you have to wait for New Zealand team to be picked and then for the Māoris and then things like that? Can you pick Māori to be in your Pacifica team? Just around the preparation and how have things gone in picking the team?
So even I was asked to organise to have a Pacifica team come to Taumata this year. Initially I thought it was just going to be Pacific Island kids of Pacific Island whakapapa, but what I said to me, nana, te moana nui a kiwa, so we could pick some Māori kids as well. And so going back and looking at all the footage of you guys playing at Nats, it was a bit hard to try and look through and try and look for names and whatnot. And so pretty much I just picked kids sort of the same as I think the whole Matua team, and sort of picking just from a few schools. And so yeah, that's how the selection process pretty much went. I sort of just shoulder tapped a couple of coaches that I knew, asked them if they had any rangatahi that would be keen to jump into our team, and so that's how we pretty much went with it. Was able to pick a couple of local kaitākaro as well that have come through the secondary schools and are now in the open kia ora stuff as well to help me coach. Janique and Primo. So brought them on to help them develop their coaching skills as well, so that when we go to the Open Nationals and whatnot, they can take up the coaching role, because everyone at home relies on me to coach. So yeah, we try and pass on the buck at some stage there. So yeah, we've also got our a couple of managers as well. We're probably the biggest team. We've all pretty deep in Dannyvik, so 3 managers and 3 coaches. So yeah, that's us, and that's helping us develop our the kaupapa and kia ora back at home in Tamaki Miaru.
And we're moving right along, and we're going to start off with Mata Choi, then I'm going to ask Mata Roy to come up. Coaches, be ready to come back up, and they're going to announce to everybody who the captains of the teams are. If we can have our coaches just come back up with the announcement. Just while our coaches are coming up and getting ready to do the announcement of their captains or co-captains or team captain, Captain Hook, just for all of us to, it's a proud moment. So just to acknowledge everybody, and so we're just going to give it to our coaches to say a couple of things about their captains. We're going to call them out, and they're going to come up on the side.
Captain for the Pacifica team is Bailey Pua Harris from Newlands College. Captain of the Newlands College team, and I met him at a hui down in Christchurch for the kia ora kaupapa as well, and he struck me as a really good rangatahi, so he picked this captain.
Ricky Bailey.
They captain for the New Zealand area schools. There's Jai Hirini. I've been to watch Jai. He comes to Tudami to play for Tiupoko under 16s. From that tournament, I was just able to see his leadership skills. I thought he'd be the best choice for our team. So, kia ora.
Tēnā tātou. We actually went with co-captains. We've got 2 captains for our team. Our captain for our boys is Roland Rasmussen. Am I right? Roland's from Rotorua Boys. And our other captain, she had to shoot off, like many talented young ones here, they've got a bit of a do-or-die netball game tonight. So, but our other co-captain is Sammy Faulkner, and she's from Hamilton Jets.
For our team, we had a bit of a stop before we got here. We announced our captains before we got here. Our 2 captains are Masami Sorensen and Kamari Hiki.
Probably just a little bit about this, the captain for the Aotearoa Māoris. He had outstanding tournaments this year, nationals, for Marituke. Who were the finalists, and captain for Aotearoa Māoris is Allies.
Pēhea te whakatau i tētahi tino kai tāwharo tei tīma. Nō reiri, i āta wānanga mātou ngā kaiako, i āta kāro ia e tei o ngā mātāpuna, e tei o ngā huara. Ko tēnei kai tāwharo i kāti e rā mātāpuna tato. Whakatauira, whakahaukaha, te uki ngā mahi. Anō reira, tēnā ko hara mai tōru.
Kia ora whānau. Same with the other teams, we were struggling to pick a captain, so we picked co-captains. And for our Kura Aiwi team, our co-captains are Hani Waitai and Tumaa Mai.
Tēnā tātou. If you're standing up here, it's because you've made such a huge impression on people in such a short time. One day, might be 5 hours, 6 hours, 2 trainings. In most teams, it takes a pre-season to find out who we want as a captain. And obviously, you people up here have shown what it takes to be a captain, not only on the field, but your ability to bring the best out of others. And to do that, most times you've got to have a waha. Sometimes there've been great captains who just lead by example when they do the mahi. So in a game like Kiorahi, we don't play on a straight court, we don't play on a straight field, we play on a circumference, 360, 380, 400, because you go around and around and around. And there's nothing like our tikanga. I don't say sport, I say there's nothing like our tikanga of Kiorahi. And so I'm not having a moment, I'm actually just bringing up our captain. and this is the reason why she's been our captain, because she's made such a huge impression, and she's able to have her waha to come out and kōrero to everybody. O mai te Pākehā. O mai te Whakipaki. Anya Hemis.
I'm just here to ask some quick part time for everybody before our captain's on stage. I don't know how this is going to work. I might just go one by one. Start on this side. First question. How confident are you and your team going into this tournament?
I'm pretty confident in my team. Have belief in all my players. You know, that's the main thing. Making sure that everybody's comfortable running in. Because comfortable throwing. There's more people that we have running in, and more people that have experience the game. You know, makes it hard for the other team.
Hockey's asking me to ask if you brushed your teeth this morning. But I won't ask that. Yeah, I've got easy questions, bro, not big questions. Is there any teams or any individual players to look out for this weekend? Me. Next question. Bro, what are some key aspects to have in order to have a good game?
I think in order to have a good game with Kia Ora, you have to be able to fight.
This is a little bit exposing, but what would you say some of your strengths are as a team? That's the only answer we want to hear, Carl. Man over here, what are you mostly looking forward to in this tournament?
Well, before, was it last week, I was looking forward to getting my get back on the finalists that we lost, but I'm looking forward to playing with my sister.
Boy, another exposing question. Is there anybody in your team that has butter fingers? Is there anyone that you look up to in this game of Kia Ora?
What is your favourite thing about Ki Ōrahi?
Who has the best gears out of all the teams here?
You know.
Tino mai kia tapai. Just want to do a huge shout out to Mantis. Mantis is the sponsor of Taumata. Mantis is also the maker of the gear and what they've been able to do for us. These are free, that they gave us for free. They're also tags and everything that they've given us for free. They also gave a $4,000 credit to go towards your gear, so you didn't have to pay the full price. So if we do the math of all of that, it comes to about 15K in sponsorship. So ho mai te paki. One final thing, make the most of the opportunity to play to the best of your ability for your team. But make the most of every chance you get to enjoy every single moment. Because we don't get the moments back. And when you stand up here in 3, 2, or 4 years' time, when we've named the pool after you, and talk about your days of what the very first Taumata tournament was like, and you remember being in this house and these 8 teams that set the bar. Where you set the bar and how you carve your pouwhakairo to tell your story is up to you. E oi tātou mai. Kia maumahara tātou. Kaua e anga whakamua ki te mutunga mai o te kēmu. Engari, me noho tātou ki roto i te nai. Mō ngā huaka. So make the most of every moment that you have. Yes, your hair is kura aiwi, aho Māori, New Zealand. But we're all in it together. There is only one team of Ki Ōrahi, and that's Tātou Katoa. So that when we go to nationals and you go to different tournaments, we go there as friends and mates and teammates and being in the same competition that you know everybody else, because we're all on the same kaupapa, and it's about elevating tēnei tikanga Ki Ōrahi. So just before I invite Matua Dane to close up our opening kaupapa, ceremony, because you all look hungry. Some of you look tired. Hope you look tired tomorrow when we're playing you two. Help yourself to all the water there. We only put something in so you get a sore puku. But get out there and enjoy. Once again, to all the coaches, managers, parents, and every person who made it happen for these students to be at this place at this time, I just want to say a huge thank you. Because without you, we wouldn't have these 8 teams. We don't get paid. There is no Ki Ōrahi money that drops down to us for all of you. So every night, be thankful to your coaches, your managers, and to the people who got you here, and your parents. Because we are lucky, but you are the face of us for Ki Ōrahi. And just before you go, each team, you're going to come across and we'll start with this team. They'll come up, get together, have a shot, because the Mantis is at the top. So we can send it through to Mantis, so he can turn that 10,000, that 15,000 into 30,000. With the growth of that, he'll help. One thing is, I don't care who you are, I growl. I got that from my mother. Because if you're too cool to smile, hey, doesn't cost anything. Be happy that you are here. Because there's some people that aren't in our teams there who have all the talent, but because you're not a good person off the field, te mate. We have an ultimate goal of sending 2 teams under 19s to Australia to play in an exhibition game. That's our goal. If you're not a good person off the stage, ki te korea paito waiwa, mena he kūware koe ki te mahingari hi mea nā mea. Hey, e no hokai ki kai. Good people make great players. Ke maumahara tau te moe nei tino wā. Nō reira, ka karagātu ki a matua thank you. Straight away, fellas, up and 1, 2, 3, knees out so we can go hungry.
Tēnā tātou he whakakapia ki tēnei wahaka ki a tātou. Kia ora ki tāu miru he o tātou manawa ki ngā here o te rongo mau te tau nā te ro ki hau. He rongo takatake, he rongo huru manu. Tūturu wā whiti whakamau wā ki a tīna. Tīna. Aumie, hui e! Aumie. Hello family. Good evening, there you go. Go the front, come on, please.
Ooh, I was like, no, that's recording. I'm getting out of the way.
Oh my god! Is that live? Is this live? Live. Gotta go lower, right? It's not even lower. Yeah. We're finna end the street. It's recording this way. I was actually. Susan. We're finna end that street today. Nah, it's just only.
Oh, thank God. Wait, are we wearing our jerseys? No, I don't want to photo in this ugly green thing. Oh, they can get that on camera. These look kind of clean. I reckon, yeah, I'm pretty sure these and the shorts. Oh, they just wrote that together. Stop. Do we have to go in? Can't we stand up?